Welcome to Identity Matters. This is episode number 10, Messy Desk, Clear Signal. Because creativity doesn't wait for the room to be clean, and neither does life. So, welcome back to Identity Matters. I'm your host, Dr. Kathleen Perry. And in today's episode, I'm just going to show up, be real, be raw, and let you see what my life is like when inspiration strikes and I just sit down and turn the microphone on. And oh my gosh, I forgot to take my Invisaligners out. So hopefully it doesn't sound like I have a lisp, but maybe I do. I was out walking the dog and I just came across some ideas that I wanted to share. And my normal gig, my normal routine is to go in the bathroom, blow dry my frizzy hair, put some makeup on, get the room all organized, and sit down and record. Well, in that time frame, sometimes that creative spark it fades. So I decided to just sit down and record. And what was really fresh for me was, since the podcast just really launched, as I'm recording this is not going to air right after the launch, but this will air sometime in April, probably. And the podcast went live on February 9th. But here I am just a few days later. One, just basking in the beautiful, positive feedback. And my friends, of course. But those people, what meant the most to me was that those people wanted to share, that they heard something that settled them, that brought them back to a knowing of who they are. And almost everyone said, I know somebody that needs to hear this. And that's why I created this episode. It's not the only reason, but it's one of the bigger ones. So I had the idea that I really wanted to share a little bit more about what the podcast is about. Even though I did that in the first episode, there's just more coming through about that. So I don't want to say better, but I find that it is easier to speak than it is to write. And hence, I can write with pajamas on or nothing on and nobody would know. And my room could be as messy as possible. But here we are. I don't know how I'm going to show up in the future. Baseball cap, makeup, no makeup, same shirt I've wore every time I go out and walk the dog. Thank goodness there's no smell-o-vision with podcasting. But one thing I really want to do is just give you permission to shed the shoulds. We just spend so much energy, so much time trying to live up to an identity that we've created for ourselves, or maybe it's been acquired and we've accepted it. It's okay to shed that, to throw it off and just be yourself. Show up and be yourself and see what happens. So even though I say that speaking is so much easier than writing, I do like to write. And here, I'm going to break another rule. I made a rule for myself. I should never read anything on the podcast. It's got to be fresh coming through my voice. Well, I wrote some things that I wanted to share with you. So here we go. Identity Matters isn't a spiritual path, a healing method, or a self-improvement project. It's a quiet exploration of how we come to live as constructed identity. The roles, the stories, and the strategies that we learn to carry. And boy, that's a heavy backpack. But the podcast and what I'm exploring here with you is what happens when those identities and rules loosen. You can show up with a baseball cap on. So this space in this podcast is for people who are thoughtful but tired of managing themselves. That's not for people seeking peak states, although those kind of people show up. Those kind of people are my friends and clients. Um, it's not for somebody who's seeking that necessarily, or any kind of special experience, or even to like try to create a new version of yourself. Because you already are what I'm pointing to. Now, it's also so important, and I hope I remember, and I hope you remember in future episodes, that I remind you that none of this is asking you to believe anything or giving you practices, although we will. In the Explorers Club last night, we revisited a practice that I shared a couple weeks ago that was so impactful. But what's important is that a practice isn't there to try to fix you. It isn't trying to make your circumstances better or change anything. If it makes sense, and the one we did was really to just create some integration in the nervous system and through the central channel energetically in the body. Just give the body the chance to do what it already does. So, again, there's nothing in this podcast that is going to ask you to believe anything. I welcome skepticism. I have been what I consider a healthy skeptic at many times in my life. I still am. Practices might show up, but I want you to remember they're not there to change you or fix you. And this isn't about becoming anything or getting somewhere. It's all about simply noticing what's already here. Beneath all that effort. And when we see that we don't have to effort, life reorganizes in beautiful ways. Your relationships change. Your relationship with yourself, you just quit putting so much pressure on yourself. Your physical health can change. If you have a business, you show up differently. So, yeah, in this work, healing frameworks kind of fall away. And life is just still being lived. It's just the healing frameworks can still be there. You can still participate in things that feel good and make sense to you. And of course, in no way am I saying, and I think it's helpful to say that because I am a now retired from acupuncture and formerly sports chiropractic physician. In no way am I saying that you should throw out conventional medicine or anything like that at all. That's up for you to figure out for you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just pointing you to look inward, because the answer to that, not that you don't go outside to gather information, I do, but the ultimate decision, what resonates inside when you're making a decision about your health, what really resonates for you. And please, discuss with your doctor, but keep in mind that doctor works for you and should be seen as a partner with you. Those can be hard to come by. Anyway, I'm going all over the place. So, okay, this is a baseball cap, messy episode. Can't even remember what I said the title was. I'm really, really about helping people discover something very trustworthy. More so than thought, because most of us live from the neck up. I did for the vast majority of my life. I went to thought to define myself, to find answers, and we're not ignoring thought because, well, that's for another really in-depth episode. Thought has its place, but when we take ourselves to be everything that this mechanism called thinking offers us up, so much of it, in fact, the majority of it just isn't true. It can't be proven. So what's more trustworthy than that is this essence, this you that's already always been here, that doesn't need fixing. So I'm not teaching here. I'm sharing, I'm exploring, I'm pointing. This is not a religion. It's not a paradigm. It's not a belief system. It's not a worldview. I just want you to start to notice what's here before all of that. So I'm just most interested for me and for you to have the experience to see and to feel what it's like and what happens when this identity, thought created identity, loosens, and when you meet life directly, right here, right now, just as it is. I'm not offering answers. I'm just inviting you to notice. That's your superpower. Just notice. Slow down and notice. So I really believe that what we are is ineffable. In so many ways, it's hard to put words to it, but we try to. And I do like the word love or a greater love. And it's a love that isn't personal. It doesn't belong to any one person. It's what's moving the breath. It's what's organizing the cells in your body. Love knows how to heal. Love knows how to grieve. That's the kind of love I'm pointing to. And it isn't something that you have to access, that you have to sit down and get quiet and figure out how to bring it in, although that's fine too. No rules. It isn't something you have to generate. And I have a previous episode on gratitude that talks about just that gratitude is. For years and years and years, I was trying to generate gratitude, like thinking about things that made me grateful. And I realized that that was an outside-in approach. I didn't need to generate gratitude. It took me a while. It took me a while for that one to sink in. So love is like that. It's not something you generate. It's not something you have to rise up into. It's already animating every aspect of this, every aspect of you, every aspect of life, of the body, and even the persona. Love loves the person that you've created. So I'm not making this constructed personality, this identity, wrong or bad. We just want to see it for what it is. And when it wants to be perfect and wants to record podcasts where it looks good, its papers are not sitting on the desk and hair is done, and love loves that too. So I'm going to talk about love more. Anyway, I kind of hope that this is something I wrote. Identity matters is mystical enough to open your heart, embodied enough to stay human, and grounded, which is easily explained in science, enough to let your nervous system relax so that you can just feel into what I'm saying. So that's the baseball cap riff for today. I did put lipstick on and earrings. I wasn't wearing those on the dog walk. Just be you, be yourself, and notice just in between thoughts, that little gap. It might feel like love. Whatever it feels like to you, that's it. That's what I want you to notice. With so much love. Namaste.